viewers and listeners. Welcome to our first episode of Healing Families. My name is Sithembiso Jeff Foster, a husband, a father, a pastor, a teacher to some, and a colleague in the business world. I'm not alone. I'm with the wife of my youth, my dark chocolate, a wife of 31 years.
Thank you. Greetings, viewers and listeners. This is Dr. Nontutuzelo Foster, a businesswoman, a former teacher, and a psychologist.
This podcast has come about because we are seeing a crisis in marriages. If you look at the statistics from the last census in South Africa, fewer and fewer people are getting married. And even those that are getting married, they are waiting until they are old. Some are even getting married at 40 plus. And also the rate of divorce is high. So this podcast seeks to deal with issues that affect families so that we create stability in which we can bring up our children so that they can become valuable members of society.
Besides marriage, we'll also be dealing with parenting issues, and also we do marriage counseling. So we will be using different forms to deliver the content. We'll be having seminars, workshop, audience in the studio. We'll be having guests as well, and sometimes discussing it between the two of us.
So the main aim is creating conversation. So in order for you to participate in this conversation, you can contact us. You're most welcome to email us at fosterjeff430@gmail.com or drop us a WhatsApp message. There are two numbers, 0710316136 and 0842799827. Those are the channels through which you can contact us.
Today's topic is about marriage in the 21st century. We are looking at the challenges of marriage and also some possible solutions. But before we can look at the challenges, we want to look at what was the original intent of marriage.
If you go back to the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 18, God, for the first time after creating everything and was happy every day, he was saying it is good. But for the first time, the Bible records it is not good for a man to be alone. Let us create a helper suitable for him. So basically, God's idea was to create a companion for the man. Now, unfortunately, the English word helper does not give us the full meaning of what God is saying there. But if we go to the Hebrew, it helps us to understand. The word used there is Ezer, which talks about a companion that has characteristics that are compatible, that is bringing in something to complete this person.
The other person, for example, has got qualities that the other do not have, which means then this other person will contribute and complement the other, and they work as a team. So the wife, in other words, is not a subordinate. He's there with all her strength, and those strengths, they mix with the husband's strength, and they come up as a nice team and come with a nice product.
In other words, no one is going to work alone. Two heads are better than one.
Yes. Another intent was for fellowship. God says it is not good for men to be alone. So fellowship is very important in marriage, so that these people can share their hearts, can share their opinions and ideas, and provide that companionship, and spend time together. Having said that, spend time together, we would want to go to the challenges, because you'll find that in nowadays, couples do not spend quality time together. And this is because both partners are working.
With parents that are working, children are left on their own. Even the couple, they don't spend time in an intimate conversation. It's everybody's rushing. Other people, you find a partner that has got 2 or 3 jobs. In other situations, they work shifts. So when they come back home, they're just rushing to bed. It's a matter of, I'm tired, let me eat and have my peace. And in the mornings, the same thing. There's no routine that is there for this family.
The quality time is lacking. And also COVID also exposed couples a lot, because you'll find that during COVID, both of them must be here because we are working from home. And when COVID happened, couples were strangers, because they are not used in spending time together. Because when they come from work, they are tired. If the other partner is not working, the other partner is busy with television, and there are other distractions as well. You'll find that even though there may be time, for example, they are here together, the couples are busy on the phone. Each one is looking on the phone, or active and participating in social media, which is nothing. There's nothing wrong about it. Even when they go to the hotel or restaurant, a space where they are supposed to be alone, and have that heart-to-heart conversations, you'll find that instead of them, fellowshipping, they are looking on their phone.
So basically, what we're saying is there's no time for each other. People don't get to know the deeper issues affecting the other person. Now, so basically, we now want to look at how can we correct these things, because folks, we need to spend time. God spent time with the first people. It says in the cool of the day, he would come into the garden and fellowship with them. So he wanted that environment to continue in the family. So we need to be intentional. That's the first key, is intentionality. We need to be intentional about spending time together. Let's make time. Let's date. Because the trouble is, if we don't spend time together, children are going to get old. There's going to be an emptiness. You're going to retire. And then all of a sudden, you are stuck with this stranger at home. That is where divorce hits the hardest. You'll be surprised that people at 60 plus, 70 plus get divorced because they are strangers. They were looking after children and not themselves.
And you know what? Spending time together, quality time, does not necessarily mean you spend hours. It can be minutes. But the key point here is quality. Quality. And quality does not really need that you go to the restaurant and have that time together where there are no children. You can take a walk together. The time that you use eating at the table, and use it for a quality time.
Basically, we are now talking of introducing, if you don't have a culture whereby you eat together, sit around the table as the family, have your meals, check in, whether it's in the morning or you have dinner together or both meals, whichever works for you. Check in with the children. How are you? How are you feeling today as they're preparing to go to school and you're preparing to get to work? Check the temperature, the heartbeat. Are they in a good space? That plays a very important role.
Especially when they are coming back from school, because you'll find that if you don't check in with them, maybe your child was bullied at school, and then the next thing, this continues without you picking up, you know. And then you'll find that a child has committed suicide or this and that, a worst thing has happened to the child. So really that checking in, not only with your spouse, also with the children, is very important. That quality time must be spent as well with the children. And having said that, this takes us to this question of the culture that has evolved, because in the olden days we used to do things a certain way, and that helped the marriage. That, so we want to tease out how has our culture evolved.
In the olden days, families used to live together. You would have in the African setting, the kraal is in the middle, and you have all the houses, the brothers, the parents, the uncles, the sisters, everybody. There's one entrance into this estate. Everybody lived and brought up children together. They used to have meals together. They used to have events together. But now, in the modern society, we are working far from family. We may be even in the same town or city, but we don't spend time together. Each family is to itself. Hence, you would hear now with the language, a strange language for an African, for example, of an extended family. For us, family is family. There's no extended family. My uncle is part of my family. Even marriage itself, the concept of marriage in the African society, marriage was between families. So we want to look deeply into that.
That setting of a kraal, you know, in the middle and the families surrounding it, it signified unity and oneness. It also signified that everything that is there is for everybody here. It's not so and so's cow or whatever. Also, that setting, it helped the young couple in that the spouse that had a problem with the other partner would go to the aunt, you know, and ask for help. And the aunt in the family, you know, would respond by solving by solving the problems, and there would be no favoritism, you know. And they would solve it nicely and even go to the in-laws to try and solve this problem. And now couples are exposed, they are there alone, there is no one to help them. And also because culture has evolved, there is individualism, there is not that communal living, there is individualism, and it has got its own advantages and disadvantages. And what we are saying there, the way we used to live in the olden days had its own benefits, which now that culture has evolved, we need to look at some ways. How can we provide that support system? Because that provided support system, because even when the young couple have got a child, the old people are here to come and help, you know, and also help in terms of how do you wash the child, you know, and the grannies are here, they are giving you that support, and everybody here is helping to grow your child, something which is not there anymore. Now we need to look at some ways, how can we get support for our family as a couple now, because culture has evolved.
Yeah, to address this gap that is there now, because we can't go back to living around the crawl and all that. But we can do something. What can we do? We have support structures that we create around families. Identify another family or two whereby you are friends, your children spend time together, you are able to leave your children, you share the same values with this couple. You are able to leave your children with that couple and attend to whatever needs to be attended to. You go out together as families, but also with your own biological family. You intentionally plan get-togethers, reunions, so that you have time to celebrate together as a family. In churches, you have couples get-togethers. Be part of those so that you are not isolated, because the problem is this new culture that we've allowed ourselves to be part of is very individualistic. You take long to come out when you have problems. People don't know that you have a problem. Whereas if you are part of a system, they can pick up. Also, there's accountability. You are able to share ideas, share solutions if there are problems.
Yes, you've got people that you can go to because parents and other family members are not here. You know, I like this idea of getting together as a family so that the children can get to know the aunties, you know, so that they are comfortable one day when they've got a problem, they can't reach to the parents, they can go to the aunt, for example, and get advice for whatever problem they may be facing. Those things, we have lost them along the way. You know what we have lost as well in terms of culture? When two people are gonna get married, the parents and the family were involved. And one of the things they used to ask was, what type of a family is my child getting married to? And that question had nothing to do with materialism. It has something to do with, I want my child, you know, to be married in a family whereby there are good values, so that I know, I am sure about the safety of my child. And that helps us in nowadays. For example, now that we are not looking at the background and the parents are not there, the children come and say, I want to marry this person. You'll find that now they do not even do the background check. And you'll find that the person they are marrying to, they're going to get married to, they are from an abusive home. And that person who's from an abusive home is taking that with him or with her to the marriage. And there are problems now.
Yes, marriage is between families. Basically, if you were to summarize what was just said, that marriage between families, you are marrying this person with their history. You're not just marrying, it's not just about feelings, it's got values. It talks to the values this person is bringing into this union. And if you don't take care of that, those values are going to come back at some stage and create problems.
And this says then, if you are single, don't rush into getting married. You know, look at the background of this person. And when you identify problems, let that person go for help before you can get married, because that person is bringing the whole package into marriage. And there are problems which you could have avoided if you did not rush. And if you are already married,
get help. Talk to people about concerns that you have. Talk to your partner first, of course, but then also talk to someone that can help you.
Go for counseling, attend workshops, marriage enrichment workshops as a couple, and also get some books so that you build your marriage, so that at the end of the day, marriage is a happy and nice thing for you.
We hope that through these conversations, you are learning something new. We are contributing. Please send us something as well. Send us ideas in terms of solving these issues. These are not the only problems. Trust us. As we continue, we're going to be unearthing more and more challenges and issues that we're going to be talking about.
And these are also not the only solutions. These it's amongst other solutions. These are the things. And also, if, for example, you were not guarded, because in marriage, as the years go by, we get used to each other, and not do things the way you used to do. So we are also saying, come on, look at your marriage, reflect, so that you don't, when you are old, you get divorced after marrying for 50 years.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us. Next time, we will be talking about personalities in the family, how they affect the children and the couple as well. So we are looking at the personalities of the couple and that of the children. Until we meet again in our next episode. God bless.